CertPunch practice round for new AZ-900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. 20 questions. Read the prompt, choose the best answer before the reveal, then listen for the exam logic behind it. Let's begin. Question 1 of 20. Which Azure tool allows you to estimate the cost savings from migrating your workloads to Azure by evaluating various cost components associated with on-premises and Azure environments, including hardware costs, electricity costs, data center expenses, and IT labor? Option A, Azure Cost Management plus Billing. Option B, Azure Pricing Calculator. Option C, Total Cost of Ownership, TCO Calculator. Option D, Azure Advisor. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option C. Exam logic. The TCO calculator estimates savings from migration. Cost management tracks usage, and the pricing calculator is for one-time estimates, not TCO. Question 2 of 20. You are running your workloads on Azure. Provisioning 100 Azure VMs to run your workloads in Azure under the pay-as-you-go model comes under which cloud computing model? Option A, capital expenditure. Option B, operational expenditure. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option B. Exam logic. Pay-as-you-go is operational expenditure, OpEx. CapEx involves upfront purchases of physical assets, which doesn't apply here. Question 3 of 20. Which feature allows you to group Azure resources to report on costs, allocate internal cost centers, track budgets, and forecast estimated costs? Option A, Azure Resource Manager, ARM. Option B, Azure Tags. Option C, Azure Monitor. Option D, Azure Policy. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option B. Exam logic. Azure Tags categorize resources for cost reporting. ARM is the underlying deployment engine, not a tagging feature. Question 4 of 20. Your enterprise needs to migrate its on-premises databases to Azure. You want to ensure that the migration is executed efficiently, with minimal downtime, and that your databases are moved to the appropriate Azure SQL solutions based on your requirements. Which Azure service helps you migrate on-premises databases to Azure VMs running SQL Server, Azure SQL Database, or SQL Managed Instances? Correct answer. Option A, Azure Database Migration Service. Option B, Azure Site Recovery. Option C, Azure Backup. Option D, Azure Migrate. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Azure Database Migration Service is for moving databases to Azure SQL solutions. Site Recovery is for VMs, and Azure Migrate is broader assessment. Question 5 of 20. True or false? Multi-session deployment is a feature of Azure Virtual Desktop that enables multiple concurrent user sessions on a single virtual machine. This approach allows for more efficient use of resources and cost savings by reducing the number of VMs needed to provide remote desktop access. Correct answer. Option A, true. Option B, false. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Azure Virtual Desktop's multi-session deployment allows multiple users on one VM, reducing costs. The false option ignores this core feature. Question 6 of 20. Your team needs a browser-based shell tool that allows them to create, configure, and manage Azure resources using a command line interface directly within the Azure portal. Which tool would you recommend? Option A, Azure Portal. Option B, Azure CLI. Option C, Azure PowerShell. Option D, Azure Cloud Shell. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option D. Exam logic. Azure Cloud Shell is the browser-based CLI inside the portal. Other options are either GUI or separate CLI tools. Question 7 of 20. True or false? Bicep files offer a simpler and more concise syntax for defining Azure resources compared to the JSON format used in ARM templates. Correct answer. Option A, true. Option B, false. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Bicep files have a simpler syntax than JSON ARM templates. The false option confuses it with more complex formats. Question 8 of 20. Which Azure service allows you to quickly provision both Windows and Linux development and test environments by using Azure Resource Manager Quick Start templates? Option A, Azure Virtual Machines. Option B, Azure Arc. Option C, Azure App Service. Option D, Azure Dev Test Labs. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option D. Exam logic. Azure Dev Test Labs uses Quick Start templates for test environments. Other services don't specialize in this provisioning method. Question 9 of 20. If you are using Azure Functions and want to pay based on the number of invocations, which pricing model applies? Option A, fixed price pricing. Option B, consumption-based pricing. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option B. Exam logic. Azure Functions uses pay-per-invocation consumption pricing. Fixed pricing is for other services, like App Service. Question 10 of 20. An e-commerce platform wants to ensure that their application remains accessible and operational with minimal downtime, even during peak traffic periods. What is this objective aimed at achieving? Correct answer, option A, high availability. Option B, disaster recovery. Option C, geo-distribution. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. High availability is about minimal downtime during peak traffic. Disaster recovery is for outages, not daily demand. Question 11 of 20. A cloud-based service adjusts its resources dynamically by adding more during periods of high demand and scaling down when demand decreases. What is this capability known as? Correct answer. Option A, elasticity. Option B, disaster recovery. Option C, geo-distribution. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Elasticity is about scaling resources up and down with demand. The other options are unrelated to resource scaling. Question 12 of 20. Which term describes the ability to adapt to changing business needs, quickly deliver software, and rapidly adopt new services? Correct answer? Option A, agility. Option B, reliability. Option C, disaster recovery. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Agility is adapting quickly to change. Reliability and disaster recovery are about stability, not rapid delivery. Question 13 of 20. Which of the following is a cloud-based solution that helps you classify, label, and protect your documents and emails? Option A, product terms site. Option B, data protection addendum. Option C, Azure information protection. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option C. Exam logic. Azure information protection classifies and protects documents. The other options are legal or licensing resources. Question 14 of 20. Which of these is an Azure environment specifically built to meet compliance and security requirements for U.S. government? Correct answer. Option A, Azure Government. Option B, Azure China. Option C, Azure Global. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option A. Exam logic. Azure Government is built for U.S. compliance. Azure China and Global are for other regions, not U.S. government requirements. Question 15 of 20. An organization needs to deploy and manage multiple virtual machines, VMs, to support its growing applications. To streamline this process and reduce administrative overhead, they seek an Azure service that can help. Which Azure service simplifies the creation and management of multiple VMs? Option A, by using Azure Load Balancer. Option B, by using Azure Virtual Machine Scale Sets. Option C, by using Azure Blob Storage. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option B. Exam logic. Azure VM scale sets are explicitly designed for managing groups of identical VMs, making them the best choice for streamlined deployment and scaling. Question 16 of 20. A company is aiming to enhance the availability and reliability of their applications hosted on Azure. They want to minimize the risk of correlated failures that could affect multiple virtual machines, VMs, simultaneously. They need a solution that utilizes fault domains and update domains to achieve this. Which Azure service provides these features to reduce the chance of correlated failures? Option A, Azure Virtual Network. Option B, Azure Load Balancer. Option C, Availability Set. Option D, Azure Backup. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. It's value A, Azure Virtual Network. The answer is option C. Exam logic. Availability sets use fault and update domains to distribute VMs, minimizing correlated failures, a key concept for high availability in Azure. Question 17 of 20. A company needs to run non-critical workloads and is looking for a cost-effective solution in Azure. They want to create temporary instances that are cheaper and can be used when there are spare compute resources available. Which Azure service provides this capability? Option A, Azure Reserved Instances. Option B, Azure Virtual Machines. Option C, Azure Spot Instances. Option D, Azure Dedicated Hosts. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option C. Exam logic. Azure Spot instances are designed for non-critical, interruptible workloads at a discount, leveraging spare compute capacity. Question 18 of 20. How is installing a SQL Server database manually in a Windows virtual machine classified? Option A, Software as a Service, SaaS. Option B, Platform as a Service, PaaS. Option C, Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. Option D, Hybrid Solution. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option C. Exam logic. Manually installing SQL Server in a VM is classic IaaS, as you manage the OS and applications, contrasting with PaaS database services. Question 19 of 20. A company wants to manage and synchronize their files between their on-premises Windows servers and the Azure cloud. They need a solution that creates hybrid file shares and ensures that any changes made to the files are automatically synchronized in both directions between the local server and Azure. Which Azure service provides this capability? Option A, Azure Blob Storage. Option B, Azure Backup. Option C, Azure Site Recovery. Option D, Azure File Sync. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option D. Exam logic. Azure File Sync creates hybrid file shares with bidirectional synchronization between on-premises servers and Azure. Other options are storage types or backup services, not file synchronization tools. Question 20 of 20. A company requires a storage solution that offers managed file shares, which can be accessed from both cloud and on-premises deployments. Which Azure service provides this capability? Option A, Azure Blob Storage. Option B, Azure Queue Storage. Option C, Azure Table Storage. Option D, Azure Files. Choose the best answer before the reveal. Commit to it now. The answer is option D. Exam logic. Azure Files provides managed file shares accessible via SMB from both cloud and on-premises. Blob, queue, and table storage are not designed for file share access.